Are you a real estate investor in Cook County? Might be Schaumburg, might be Berwyn, might be Oak Park. Well, I want you to listen up because today I want to talk to you about something that I'm seeing the real estate investor in Cook County, suburban Cook County, miss years later after this came out. I'm Mark Ganley, partner, founder, GC Realty Development, also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, Straight Up Chicago Investor. Check that out. But today we're going to talk about the RTLO. The RTLO is the Residential Tenant Landlord Ordinance, and it's part of Cook County. Some people call it the RTLO. We just call it RTLO for short, not to be confused with the Chicago ordinance. But this came out in June of 2021, and we're recording this in 2026. And I was sitting down with an owner just 2 days ago, and they had no clue this even existed. They have 60 units that they've been running for 23 years. And they had no clue that all these ordinances, all these different rules and laws and updates came out, including the RTLO, that I quickly went over them just to help them understand what they got to do over the next year to get up to speed. So if you're not familiar with it, first off, go to 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁 and we have a download. It's called Understanding the RTLO, and you can get all the kind of high viewpoints. We're going to just talk about some of the main things here that I know I've seen owners get caught up in or not even aware happen. So first and foremost, late fees. Now there is a required late fee that you need to have in place. You can't just say, I charge $100 or I charge flat 5%. This is a mandatory, even if your tenant signed a lease 10 years ago and you're a month to month, you now do have to change the way you charge late fees here in Cook County. Again, when we talk about Cook County, this can be anything from Barrington to Franklin Park, down to Alsip, any of the suburban Cook County, Tinley Park, this you'll fall under this. And this is not one of these wonky, a lot of people are like, I'm not in Chicago, that doesn't apply to me. No, this has nothing to do with Chicago. So you Palatine investors, you gotta make sure that you are paying attention to this exact stuff. Because on top of everything that something in Palatine requires, you now have to do these things in Cook County. But back to the whole late fee concept, having to charge a late fee, it is 5% for the first, $10 for the first 1,000 and 5% anything above and beyond. And it's important that you follow that rule and that you are going to, if you're going to be charging your tenants if you're going to be charging your tenants late fees, make sure you're applying the right one. So secondly, the other big one is security deposit and where it's held. So up until 2021, when this came out, you as a Cook County landlord could have your security deposit any bank you want, anywhere. And there's very vague language about even keeping it separate from your other funds even. But now you're required to have it at an Illinois bank. Like Chase, Harris, all those do work for that as well too. But you're required to hold it in a separate security deposit account. So you can have your 123 Main Street operating account for your rental, but you then have to have a 123 Main Street security deposit account. Or maybe you don't have to just put Main Street, just as long as it's just only for security deposits. Now the security deposit does not have to earn interest, but that security deposit and where that bank is has to be on the first page of your lease. So on the first page, you'll say where the security deposit is being held. Now that is something that you'll see on there. And the big thing where I see people get caught up is if you change your banking, so maybe you move from Chase to Harris, you have to send notification to the tenant that the bank on the lease has changed and this is the new location that those funds are being held at. So disclosing that is huge. And if you're buying a property and you're carrying a security deposit, you have to notify the tenant where that security deposit is being held. So those are two things that in Cook County that a lot of people are not really catching and not realizing even exists. So like I said, if you want more on the RTLO, you could Google up GC Realty and Development RTLO. You could, on our website, 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝘁𝗗𝗲𝗃, we have a great download that we basically summarized all of these changes. I just gave you 2 today. There's probably another dozen that it's very important that you make sure you pay attention to. Now, one of the things that we'll make sure you don't get in trouble for is using the right lease. So if you need a copy of a solid Cook County lease, you can reach out to me as well too. I'm always happy to help you. And if you want to just not worry about any of this, at GC Realty, we do property management and tenant placement. And really, we do 2 things for real estate investors, and that's really lower your risk. Everything I'm talking about today, if you don't know about, that's putting you at risk. And we allow you back your time. So you don't have to go figure out this stuff. You don't have to spend the time staying on top of or worried about the laws that you're not realizing. Or you're getting in trouble for this and having to go back and spend all the time fighting lawsuits or, God forbid, class action lawsuits. So Tenant placement, property management, if you're ever interested, we'd love to help you. But if you just have general questions, reach out. I'm always happy to share. And then check out gcrealtydevelopmentinc.com for tons of investor resources. Talk soon.